series on the growing pressures on hospitals. Those pressures are also intensifying in general practice, with the latest figures showing a slight fall over 12 months in the number of GP posts in England. It's getting harder to fill GP vacancies, and doctors are seeing a growing caseload of more complex conditions. Our health editor Hugh Pym explains.
3 doctors and 3 stories illustrating the pressures on GPs. More patients with difficult conditions, finances not keeping up, and a job which they say is increasingly stressful. This used to be a surgery in the West Midlands, but it's now boarded up.
Strange being back.
The GPs running it couldn't make the sums add up. A high workload needed more staff, which increased costs. They had to cut their own pay, so they decided to hand him the keys.
This was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. I went into medicine to look after people and help people, and to be in a position where you feel like you can't do that job is not something I ever wanted to do. But at the end of the day, I've got to do what's right for me and what's safe to do.
Local patients have had to move to nearby surgeries. GPs accept they're relatively well paid, but some now feel it's no longer worth running a practice.
We hope that in due course we'll be able to accommodate trainees at this.
It's hardly traditional for a medical job advert, but this doctor has taken to social media to advertise a GP vacancy which has been unfilled for nearly a year. He says other local practices have the same problem, and in their part of rural Essex, his concern is for patient care.
We're now 4 GPs down from the 12 we ought to have. If you have more than about 2,000 patients per GP, access to general practice becomes difficult. People can't get the appointments that they need, and the burden on the GPs that remain becomes very difficult to manage.
Open wide for me, let's have a look.
Many GPs are now part-time, like this doctor in Sussex. She says she works several more hours each week than she's paid for, seeing or phoning more than 40 patients a day.
Just wondering if I'd be able to discuss an 81-year-old.
The cases are getting more complex and more challenging.
The problem that happens when we're working at pressure is that you never have that time and space to sit and think, what do I need to do? I need to read through the notes, I need to read through the letters from the hospital, I need to read through what I know about these medications. But often you just don't have the time or space to do that, because the moment you finish with one patient, the door opens and the next one comes in.
Some might say you're a highly paid professional. There are others who work very hard in the public sector. Don't you just have to get on with it?
If this was an easy job that was so highly paid that anyone wanted to do it, then why do 1/3 of GP surgeries currently have unfilled vacancies?
Hi there, Mr. Nash, to come in.
NHS England says more of the budget is being shifted to GP care. Ministers say some surgeries aren't opening for long enough each day, but this GP feels they're working all the hours they possibly can. Hugh Pym, BBC News.